And thank you for the invitation. I've been speaking to Lars and Susanna a few times to prepare this presentation to align the output so it can benefit you guys with some knowledge sharing. And I've been looking forward to share all my lessons learned from the process of beginning to digitize our portfolio of buildings, real estate, and construction. So it's been a long journey, and now we are seeing the benefits on all our efforts. So I will try to, for the next 30 minutes, to give you a journey through all the investments that we have done on our university. So yeah, this is virtual in Stockholm. It's been a long time since I've been there, but I would have been glad if this could be like in real life at your place, but unfortunately it has to be on web. A presentation, very briefly. My name is Khoa. I'm born and raised in Denmark. I'm in charge of the digital development and transformation at our university when it comes to real estate and facility management. So we look at the whole built environment as a circular motion of how you live, how you use, and how data actually is exchanged throughout the life cycle. And I'm an architect by background, but I don't work as an architect. I've been at DTU since 2016, and I've been here on the earth since '85. So I think I'm still young, but that's to interpretation for now. And I'm Danish, but inside I'm Asian. My parents are Vietnamese, fled from the Vietnam War, but I've been living all my life in Denmark. All right. Today, this is actually DTU, our main campus north of Copenhagen. So for like 40, 50 years ago, somebody in our society thought that the university should move out of the city center and move into the woods of our neighborhood. So this is a Copenhagen wood, and it's not that woody anymore. Now it's built, and we are still building, and we will build for the next many years. So now we have a 40% built area compared to the whole footprint, and we have a strategic aim to get to what you call it, 125% of our footprint of the whole area. So that will be like triple the size of we have now. So we will be building a lot for the next 30 years. And now we just ended one phase of a strategic investment on how to expand our university. So now we are going to another phase where we try not to use our own money anymore, but we try to have a partnership with the private companies to get inside our university. So we'll have another symbiosis of new knowledge in relation to the real life, if you can say that. So, but today I will be talking about our journey. I will talk about some programs, processes, and policies that is actually the base on how to have this digital mindset. And I will talk about one of our construction projects, and that's the reason why I'm here, because I think you reached out for me earlier this year, or maybe last year, I don't remember, but we have a lot of success with this project and got acknowledged at Building Smart. So this is only one output of the whole portfolio of all our projects, but this is like a good story to tell. But we have a lot of stories, but this is like the thing that we like to talk about, or our management like to talk about. And then I will try to have an outlook for what will happen next on real estate and facility management. So it's not necessarily only about BIM and how to classify and all the technical stuff with 3D models and digital twins, but more to expand our facility management more than just the built environment. So that's the agenda for today. And The journey, we started with a lot of drawings, paper drawings that were in multiple versions on multiple locations at DTU. So we had a task to gather, to collect a lot of drawings and to see which one is the most recent drawing and try to clean out redundancy. And from there on, we tried to go from paper to CAD, from CAD to BIM. And we started, we already had CAD before 2010, but the thing that was very critical in 2010 that the Danish government decided that we have to use BIM on all our projects. So now we couldn't have a choice, we have to do it. But we couldn't solve this day by day, but it's a long-term foresight on how to look at BIM, because we have a lot of square meters and it takes a lot of time to create all these models. Yeah. So the thing is that we started out with space management, and this is a step-by-step on how we start digitize, but it's not a recipe on how others should do it because technology is changing. So if you start now on digitizing, I would suggest another strategy because the context on the regulations compared to technology, compared to a culture is very different from company to company. So we started with documentation. This is what you see on the shelves. All the drawings, we tried to scan it. From scan, we did the CAD, from CAD to BIM. That's what we call BIM management, because we use the BIM models for a lot of things without, besides drawings, besides 3D views, but we're using data. So it's more like a data management or data governance on how we try to accelerate data as a what do you call it? Data as the foundation on what we is doing on a daily basis. And then asset management, which also include financial aspects on how to operate a university. And then one of our difficult things for our operation departments is to do plant maintenance and preventive maintenance. But that's, I think, a national challenge. It's not only us, but we are very good at doing emergency maintenance. But by having data, having the right structure for where to look for stuff, and then we can have a better overview on all our tasks if you do plant maintenance, and then we minimize the cost of doing emergency maintenance tasks. So this is where we are now. And after preventive maintenance, then you can have like intelligence maintenance, but I'll get back to that later. All right, and then we are actually, earlier this year, we launched a digital strategy for our business. And one area in this strategy is describing how digital development is supposed to be understood and digital transformation. But in this section, we had two elements that is describing how we're using digital to improve our business. One thing is that the thing that we used to do is to digitize, or digitalization, where we convert and exchange physical information as digital information. But when you do this, you are still using existing processes. But if you have data on existing processes, then you can improve new processes and make it better, optimize it, and make it more efficient. And this is another part of digital development, where you talk about digital transformation. And when you talk about digital transformation, it's more like business transformation. We want to improve our business. We're not digitizing for the sake of being digital, but it has to have a purpose. So we are using digital technology to add value for existing business models, or creating new business models and improving our own business processes. I hope that makes sense. All right, so our business model at our university, it is called campus service, where I work at. and we are looking it as facility management model. And just to clarify, we are looking at facility management not as operation management, but we look at it as a whole thing, a circular motion for the built environment. So we have space management, where we have all our spaces to analyze our spaces, to see how we can utilize our spaces more efficiently. When we have this overview, we can make a decision to renovate, to build new, or demolish another building. But whenever we decide to create a new building, it goes over to the real estate management, where we are designing and constructing the new facilities. And then whenever the construction is finished, then it's delivered for the operation maintenance departments. And this circle is going around for the whole campus. So that is our facility management organization. And when you put a layer of digital on this model, then we are not only talking about technology. And this is what I call, actually we are educating engineers. So I have a formula for this, trying to simplify it, because BIM is not only about technology or programs or applications, or digital is not only about programs, technology or applications. It has to support processes. It has to add value for the humans that is driving this this business improvement. And you have to adapt it for the existing policies, or you have to change policies, regulations, laws, or standards, execution plans, or guidelines. That is what policies is all about. So when you're talking about BIM or digitalization, it's a combined element of these three elements. And it's not about what came first. It follows each other. So whenever you apply new programs, you have to look at the processes and the policies. Or if you apply new policies, you have to look at the applications and the processes that is attached for new implementation of new policies. So that is and this also applies for the phases or our facility management circle. So you have to apply this for the concept phase as well. You have to think about this. You also have to think about the design phase, how to use the right applications that supports the right processes along with the right policies. The same for constructions and operations. And across this section, you have master data as basis, because everything we do is related to a physical point or area in the real world. So that's the thing about space management. I'll return to that one later. So digital or BIM is not only about technology, it's also about processes and policies. And the thing that I said about it has to support the people that is driving this. So this is our organizational diagram, and it fits our circle that you can see on the top right. We have real estate management departments, we have operation departments, and then we have a portfolio space management departments. And then I am leading the digital department under space management as a staff or support function, a business support function for all our business. So digital is not only about BIM, real estate, it's about the whole circular of our business model. Yeah. If you have any questions, I think Susanne is catching up, and you just interrupt if you have any urgent questions, or else we can wait for later. I cannot see the chat function when I present, so I think I have an agreement with Susanne. To talk about space management, this is my Achilles heel. If we don't have the knowledge on how important space management is, that will ruin our business. So I often ask myself, not anymore, but everybody else across sectors, it's not only the built environment, it's also finance, it's also techo, it's also medical. What is your master data? You have to ask yourself that. What could ruin your business? our business in campus service is space management. If you don't know how to classify room parameters in BIM models, that will ruin the operation maintenance on a later point. And if you don't know what the spaces consist of in an operational BIM model, then our operational staff cannot go to the specific place to solve specific tasks. Task is related to a space. Every task in the facility management model is related to a space. So that is the thing that I'll try to talk about with all my colleagues and our consultants and contractors. Space management is our most important thing. And we use classification combined with spaces as well. Back to that later where we talk about operation maintenance building components in the delivering phase. But just for your information about key numbers, we have 3 campuses. We have roughly about 400 buildings, 800 floors, 20,000 spaces, and assets is, in our terminology, building components or supply systems. It could be many things gathered. It doesn't necessarily have to be one door. It could be a system of walls that includes several doors. It depends on how you make your plant maintenance, on how one task is relating to several components. Yeah. So that is space management, our master data. And this is a fraction of digital twin. And a lot of people is talking about digital twins at the moment. And also to clarify, our way of having a view on digital twin is not only about 3D, it's not about BIM, but you need BIM to talk about digital twin. But digital twin is a condition to operate on a clever way. And if you need inspirations on how to look at it, we have the Cambridge University have some principles on how to look at digital twins. That is a very exciting readings that you can read. I'll send this presentation to Lars and Susanna so you can have this. This is a hyperlink, so you can press it and then it'll open a browser to in whatever browser you use. Good. Some quick pictures on our university, just to let you know what we are building and constructing. We are having very different facilities that has to support all our researchers and professors. So this is something with speakers. I don't actually know what it is, but some clever stuff is happening here. Here is some other researchers about, I don't know, looks like water, and some clever engineers trying to fix the world. Another kind of facility, some other clever students. Robotics is another subject for our university. And besides that, we also have normal, like study areas for bachelor students to have on-formula learning facilities that invites for other ways of learning, not just only to listen to a professor, but the group activities is also a big learning subject that we try to make facilities that support that kind of group work. Same here. And now for our building 310, it's marked in almost in the center of our university. This is our campus in Lyngby, our main campus. And as somebody can see, this is a mathematical coordinate system. You have a x-axis and a y-axis, and in the middle we have an origo. So we have first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Very engineer-like, but that's how they planned it in the 50s and 60s. And all the white striped volumes is potential development areas in between existing buildings. But one of our newest construction is building 310. And here we tried to change policies, and that made us have better processes, but we also had to include new technology to have a very ambitious digital construction project. And the thing that we do at DTU is to educate people. We are doing some innovation. That's why we are having the core activities is to educate engineers. We are doing scientific advices. So we also have a societal obligations on how to advise different stakeholders in our society with our knowledge. And one of our main activities is research as well. So 310 is a research building that has to support DTU physics, where we are doing something about environmental, energy, green, sustainable research. I'm not very sure about the specific thing, but it's a physical DTU physics that has this building. And from the very start in 310, we set all the ambitions, and it has, when you have an ambition, you also have to have a purpose that has to solve something. And we needed digital tools to manage a large portfolio of building data, but not only for this building, but for the whole university. And also, when you decide to have a high level of ambitions, you have to bring it in from the start of the project, all the way to the pre-qualification and the way we do the tender process. And this is the first way we in Denmark tried to involve and have a dialogue in the tender process, not just to deliver a bunch of documents that you reviewed, but we invited it for more open dialogue about how we wanted this building to end up. And as I mentioned before, this is a regulation that is the Danish government said that we have to use open BIM since 2010. So this was a natural thing to have this digital ambition. And as I said, it's the competition or the tender process was a competitive dialogue where we invited 3 teams. So we tried to mimic the IPD from the United States, but whenever we try to implement new stuff, the legal stuff has to follow along, and the legal sector is very conservative, so they have to rely on other projects before they try something new. So that was one of our issues. So we didn't do a full IPD, but we did try to involve stakeholders very early in the process. So early involvement and collaboration was a keyword on this project, where we involved the contractor in the design phase to make early reviews on the consultancy's BIM models to say, this is possible, this is not possible. And the contractor was MC Highgard. I don't know if they exist in Sweden. We have Christensen and Company, which is derived from Henning Larsen Architects. And we have more consulting engineers as the engineering consultancies. And the thing that we tried new was the way we had digital collaboration very early in the process, where we took in specialists very early to make this construction constructible, if you can say it that way. And when you involve stakeholders so early in the process, that needs to have a well-coordinated BIM model where you're using different applications. That is why IFC was used. This is why we are requiring IFC, not in the sake of operation maintenance, but the sake of how people is collaborating, exchanging data throughout the project. Yeah, and in the very early phases, we had weekly ICT meetings or BIM meetings where we reviewed the model, uploaded the model, had a talk about that, because we knew that investment early in the process will benefit later on the project, so we don't have all these mistakes. So talking about mistakes, we have had earlier in the process, we had another building, same complexity, but we had almost double mistakes than this project because we are using BIM model in a better way. The other project we had also used BIM models, but we didn't have the early involvement of every stakeholder for the project. So BIM pays off. And I will close my video, and I have a video that I want to show you. So hopefully this will work.
The DTU 310 building is an exciting and complex laboratory that will be built centrally to the Mathematic Tower at DTU and will house the DTU Energy and 3D Imaging Center. Using 3D design and VDC, virtual design and construction, we will build in a way that can optimize the building process, and even the building site logistics before we even put spade to soil. The university has many employees and students who travel in and out by foot, bicycle, and by car. Because of these factors, we have to optimize our traffic and logistics to provide a safe environment during the building period. In order to maintain consideration for the different types of traffic, we have a specific focus on the management of heavy vehicles and extra traffic produced by the delivery of materials and equipment. Furthermore, we will have a focus on the management of the building site with a keen eye to workplace environment and safety. Deliveries are made to the building site typically from the Lundbro motorway and along Lundtoftegårdsvej, each from the north and south approaches. To facilitate safe conditions and minimize the number of difficult turnings, heavy vehicles will use Anker Engelundsvej. From here, they will turn left up Lundtoftvej, where in the mornings there will be particular attention to students passing at the junction of these two roads. After finishing 2 left turns, leading to Fysikvej, vehicles can enter the building site. On Fysikvej, which is a very narrow road, we will use concrete blocks to separate the traffic from heavy vehicles. Upon arrival at the building site, you will be met by a controller who will steer traffic to maintain proper flow and organization. Once the controller is passed, vehicles will continue straight to unload, for example, concrete elements in designated delivery area. Once ready, they will loop to the left around the blue material containers where smaller deliveries will be made, and so leave the building site via the same route. This way, we can secure an effective and fast one-way system for deliveries. In this phase, we shall be working via a ramp for the excavation of the building. When navigating the building site with safety shoes, helmet, and vest, persons will be directed by the orange pathways. All deliveries and contractors will have their own material containers in the building site, and the construction management will be set up in the pavilion building next to the Mathematic Tower. 3D models and simulations help create a better decision base, not only for the entire project team, but also for our client at DTU. It is crucial to simulate the construction process visually in 3D, thereby enabling optimization opportunities and minimizing risks. Once the construction process becomes visual, all skills and expertise can come into play and contribute to the value creation on a fast-paced basis. Based on the project team's integrated digital collaboration, we are building virtual before we do it on site.
How did it look? Was it okay?
It was okay. It was good. Good, Khoa.
Perfect.
I think we got another 5 minutes if that's okay.
That's more than perfect. All right, this slide was also communicated in the models, in the videos. I'll jump through that one. One of the successes on the 310 is that as operational departments, we very often get digital deliveries in hand too late, meaning that whenever the construction site is closed, it's very difficult to collect the operation maintenance documentation because we didn't have the right tools. And for 6 years ago, we did a collaborative project with Dalux as a facility management delivery IT supplier. And this is I like diagrams because I'm an architect, but this diagram is talking about how data is exchanging from A to B in the delivering phase. So we had a need to visualize this for our IT developers to make an application that could support contractors and their subcontractors to deliver the right data in the right time, in the right quality for the client, which is DTU. So this diagram is a requirement specification for our IT software developer to make a very easy way to deliver data and for the client to collect data. This is not a diagram that we show our project because this will confuse more than is necessary. So this is an IDM, it's an information delivery manual on how data is exchanged throughout the project. And how this looks in a web browser is like this. You have a BIM model. Whenever you have a window, it will create a building part sheet where you add data on. So this is connected to the model because we have the right classification. If you don't have the classification, then the data is delivered for the building component is not related to the models. This is one of our key requirements for our consultants. Remember to classify all our buildings. And this is how it looks in a list form. It doesn't look very BIM-like, but it is connected to the BIM somehow. Then you add files on the left. You can deliver files before attaching the files for a building component that is related to the BIM model. And on top of this, you have a workflow management. So you can exchange data for the responsible stakeholders in the value chain whenever you are building the construction. So we had on 310, the first delivery 3 months before the client requirement was on deadline. So that's a very good success, but we can do it even better for now. Because even though it's delivered, there are some quality issues still, but it's an easy way to deliver because on our previous projects, we could wait sometimes 2 to 3 years before getting the data. So that's a very, that's an improvement, I can say. And operation and maintenance in BIM is that we have to classify we are having issues on communicating types and instances in BIM models because whenever it ends in operational departments, it's all instances. So every single building component is unique, but in the design phase, not every single component is unique because you're working with types and Revit libraries. So whenever you put an object from the library, it becomes instance, and then it has a system that is connected to the whole ventilation systems or water supply system or electricity systems is all connected somehow, and it's connected to the space. That is why space management is so crucial. You need to know where it is in the model, or else we cannot do the maintenance task whenever the delivery is finished. And as you can see, the marks on the Revit is the classification that is carried out through the building component on the web application that the contract is delivering data to. And whenever this is finished, this will be directly imported to our facility management system, where data is extracted from the model and put out in the right shelves. So it's accessible for the needs for every single operation department. Yeah. And then I have 2 minutes. All right, thank you, Lars. And this is the next thing that we have to do for our digital transformation is that whenever we have data, we can use data for a lot of stuff. And this is whenever you have data, whenever you have activities, then you can analyze on data. You can analyze on our business. You can analyze on processes. And in this diagram, we are talking about how to look at data. On the first step, you are describing, making descriptive analytics, meaning that you can ask how much, how many, what happened, is very static. And then when you have all this data or insight, then you can optimize on solving, optimizing, doing it better. And whenever you have those answers, then you can predict, if I did this, then this will happen. So you can act on a clever way. That's why I talk about intelligence data maintenance or data management. That if you have those insights on what happened, then you can predict. Whenever you can predict, you can apply actions on predictions. That is what you call prescriptive analytics. But you need a data governance to have this overview and a foresight or an ambition that you want to do something with your business that is supported by data. And the last thing is that just like IFC, that is data has to be exchanged throughout a construction project, then facility management data also has to apply for other businesses, not only facility management or construction. All our data is also delivered for IT, HR, legal, because they also want to need where is people located, how many money is people spending on this location. Finance has to know that as well. So this is about the theme from last week, Gardner's symposium. It was compatibility. Everything has to be composable whenever you apply new digital technology. And this is what we try to do at DTU. This is my last page. That data has to look at the ecosystems that is not closed by itself, but has to open up to other different applications. So whenever you collect data, you also have to have the mindset how to make data accessible for not just only operation maintenance departments, but other stuff as well. Yeah, that was about it.